George. Here he comes. 360 turns. Okay, he's up, coming back to the other end.
Watch
Campbell
the
in the
trail.
post.
Watch
Here's
the trail. Oh!
15-game winning streak on the line.
4 seconds.
Shaquille, fadeaway.
He'd be the greatest of all time.
If Shaq had your work,
He'd be the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time by a mile.
Sure. He'd be the first to tell you that.
Shaq's resume is nothing short of legendary. He won 4 NBA titles, including a three-peat with the Los Angeles Lakers, and took home 3 Finals MVP awards. He was a 15-time All-Star and was named to the All-NBA team 14 times. Plus, he was the 1999-2000 regular season MVP. These are accomplishments most players can only dream of. So why do we still hear these criticisms that Shaq didn't live up to his full potential? One of the most common critiques comes from his former teammate Kobe Bryant.
Who would Shaq be if he had your work ethic?
He'd be the greatest of all time.
If Shaq had your work ethic,
He'd be the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time by a mile.
Sure. He'd be the first to tell you that, for sure. I mean, this guy was a force like I have never seen. I mean, it was crazy. You know, a guy at that size, generally guys at that size are a little timid and they don't want to be tall. They don't want to be big. Man, this dude he did not care. He was mean. He was nasty. He was competitive. He was vindictive. I mean, yeah. I wish he was in the gym. I would have had fucking 12 rings.
Kobe was known for his relentless dedication to the game, his early morning workouts, his obsessive attention to detail. Shaq? Not so much. He was known for his larger-than-life personality, his love for food, and his more laid-back approach to training. But here's the thing, Shaq and Kobe were built differently, physically and mentally. Shaq's game was centered around the sheer size and dominance in the paint. He was 7'1" and over 300 pounds. While Kobe thrived on finesse and technique, Shaq was simply a wrecking ball. They had different skill sets, different bodies, and therefore different approaches to the game. Now, let's address the core of this argument. Did Shaq's work ethic hold him back? It's easy to look at Kobe's grind and think Shaq should have done the same. But we have to consider the physical toll that playing as a big man in the NBA takes. Shaq was constantly getting hammered in the paint. Opposing teams had no choice but to foul him because they couldn't stop him in any other way. Imagine being that size, taking that kind of beating game after game, and then trying to train like someone like Kobe. Shaq himself said that the intensity of workouts designed for small guards or smaller forwards wouldn't have been sustainable for someone his size. His body would have broken down even faster. Even with his laid-back approach, Shaq dominated for nearly 2 decades. He played 19 seasons in the NBA and still performed at a high level well into his 30s. In fact, Shaq is the only player in NBA history to record 13 consecutive seasons of at least 21 points and 10 rebounds per game. Let that sink in. 13 straight seasons of elite production. That's not something you accomplish without putting in work. It's also important to put Shaq's career into context with other big men. Historically, big men tend to decline sooner than guards or wings because of the wear and tear on their bodies. Shaq was 32 years old during his last season with the Lakers, and even then he averaged over 21 points and 11 rebounds a game. That's a feat only 2 players in NBA history have ever accomplished. Shaq and Hakeem Olajuwon have accomplished this only after turning 31. Legends like David Robinson, Karl Malone, and Tim Duncan didn't do it, but no one accuses them of not working hard enough. So why is Shaq's work ethic being questioned? Much of the criticism surrounding Shaq's work ethic intensified after his split with Kobe and the Lakers in 2004. The Lakers chose to move forward with a 25-year-old Kobe instead of a 32-year-old Shaq. At the time, it made sense. Shaq was entering the twilight of his career and Kobe was in his prime. But to justify the move, the Lakers front office pushed the narrative that Shaq was on the decline because he wasn't working hard enough. That storyline stuck and has been a major part of how people view Shaq's legacy. But here's what people forget. Shaq went on to win another championship with the Miami Heat in 2006 and continued to play at a high level for several more years. He even made the All-NBA team at 37 years old. For someone supposedly not maximizing his potential, that's a pretty impressive feat. So, did Shaq actually waste his potential? Well, going based on history, the short answer is no. Sure, if Shaq had trained like Kobe, maybe he would have had a few more years of dominance. But he also could have broken down even sooner. The reality is, Shaq's career unfolded in a way that makes sense for someone of his size and style of play. He wasn't wired like Kobe, and that was okay. Shaq's career wasn't all about being the most conditioned athlete, it was about sheer dominance, and he achieved that in a way few players ever have. Criticizing Shaq for not being something he wasn't is like asking LeBron to shoot like Steph Curry or asking Magic Johnson to play defense like Kawhi Leonard. Every player has their own strengths, and Shaq's strengths made him one of the most unstoppable forces the NBA has ever seen. But why does this criticism still come up? I think part of it is that people just love hypotheticals. It's always tempting to imagine how things could have been. Shaq was so good, so dominant, that it's easy to think, what if he was even better? But that line of thinking overlooks just how much Shaq did accomplish. 4 championships, an MVP, multiple finals MVPs, and a 19-year career. That's the stuff of legends, not wasted potential. So in the end, was Shaq's potential wasted? Absolutely not. He played to his strengths, he dominated the game, and has left a lasting legacy as one of the greatest big men in NBA history. The idea that Shaq didn't work hard enough is an oversimplification of a career that was anything but simple. But what do you guys think? Do you agree that Shaq's legacy is unfairly criticized, or do you think he could have been even greater? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more upcoming videos and NBA content. My name is Damian Peters. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.